Because everybody knows that the reason you come here is not just to learn computing, which is nice, if you learn about something about computing once in a while, but it's to socialize, share your horror stories and your success stories about computers and everything else. So we know that a club is social as well as educational. All right? So that's great. We got a couple of things we're going to pull today out of the smorgasbord, as I call it. Please note there will be no class on April 18th. Please make a note of it. And that the last class before summer break will be May 30th. That will be a 98-day break this time, which goes into September 5th. They'll start their children's activities here in the first week of June, so we have to be out of here by the end of May. So we're going to take the last Friday to do that, and we will not return until the 5th of September, I believe, which is the first Friday. So it's I counted 98 days, I believe. Okay, Jerry, what's your tip today?
It's a good way to back up your computer quickly.
Very good.
Oh, a Roto-Rooter, very good. How to back up your computer?
Yes, if you're doing something and it's
Folks, please, we can't hear.
If you want to install a program and it says, back up your computer.
Hold it, Jerry.
Can she stand up?
No, she can't. She's got a cold, so I asked her to just try to talk. Just tell me
I thought he was going to. I can stand. If you want to back up your computer quickly, this is just sort of a good way to do it. You make a restore point. You all know how to make a restore point? Just make a quick restore point. And then you have your computer backed up.
Is there anybody who would like to see that done?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Do it.
Do it.
Just do it.
Do it. Okay, you go to start. Come on, where's start?
30.
You go to start. You go to all programs. You go to accessories.
I can't, she's got a cold. So I will explain what she's doing.
You go to system tools.
Go to start, you go to programs, you go to accessories, and then you go to system tools.
And then you go to system restore.
Okay? And we go to system restore. All right? And what do you do?
Create a restore point.
Okay.
And then you say next. And then you can put whatever you want in there. My computer's okay today, or whatever you want.
Yes.
And then just go to create.
Don't do that yet. Okay. So that's what you do.
And then if that program you're putting in causes a problem, then you can go back to the where you just restored it. And
you can restore your computer to an earlier time when it was working properly. That's a very smart thing. Now, some programs that you actually buy also create automatic restore points for you. Yes. They do that as part of the modern programs have that in there. It will create a system restore point, and if you have a problem, it doesn't wipe out your data, by the way. It doesn't wipe out documents or anything else, but it might, in going back and system restore, wipe out some of your security updates and those things. So you might have to reinstall those if you go back to an earlier time. But as far as documents, photos, music files, all those things, it does not touch. Okay? Thank you, Jerry.
Okay.
What? Question?
In other words, you're not really going back in time. You're just creating a restore point without really restoring the computer. Is that right?
Right.
You're not following through.
That's
right.
You didn't say that.
Well, I didn't say to do it either.
Well, no, but people might get the wrong impression. You're really not restoring the system to a point.
You're creating a restore point.
As opposed to...
to go back to if you have to.
Right.
That's because you picked to create a restore
Create.
point rather than the first choice.
Correct.
That's right.
All she's doing is talking about you buy a new piece of software in the store and you just install it. And it appears to be problematic for some reason.
Well,
okay.
Sometimes they'll say, create a backup? Or
Yes, they will.
back up your computer?
Sure. Yes, Vincent?
What do you type in for a description of the store point?
Anything you want.
Anything you want. It could be a computer working fine, or install the name of a program. For example, you just installed a graphics program. Say you just put in PaintShop Pro. So if the program doesn't allow you during the installation to create a restore point, you create one and say install PaintShop Pro. Then when you run the program, if there's a problem with it, you can, instead of uninstalling it, you can return your computer to an earlier time. Okay? And now, depending on how many actually people don't realize it, but the computer does take a snapshot every time you turn it on. It creates automatic restore points. Okay? It does create automatic restore points as a snapshot.
Okay.
But it stores them in something called the system volume. The system volume. And that is a hidden file in the computer. It's hidden for a reason, because you don't want to restore, have access to something that's healthy and accidentally restore something that's unhealthy. But there's a whole procedure for that. The whole point we just wanted to show you is you can make a restore point on your own if you wish to do so. Thanks, Jerry. Go back. One thing I want to talk about today is take a look at the club site. Again, we made some changes. Scroll down a little bit. Before I go to that, I'll talk about volunteers. We're all volunteers, someone told me. You volunteer to come here. Board members are volunteers. The people who sit at the sign-in desk or take the money are volunteers. And our instructors are volunteers. We're all a volunteer group. So we should all be helping each other out. We can use your help. Sometimes all of our people can't show up for whatever reason. We can always use a backup. And volunteerism is really the name of any computer club's game. Without my volunteers, as I say, I'm just a name on a list. Without my board support, without the people that are helping me there at the cash, and the people that are helping me in the sign-in desk, I couldn't function. This club cannot function without a successful backbone of volunteers. Let's give everybody a real big hand. And if you're interested in becoming one, just ask any board member. Just ask any board member. If you have a subject of expertise, we're almost programmed out now, I understand, in May as well. We'll be posting that schedule. I'll post that tonight. And you scroll up a little bit, Jerry. As you can see, let's look at the calendar. Go to the calendar and let's look at April. Now you'll have to scroll all the way up to stop that. Now try it. Go to April. And you'll see that we are pretty much covered. Alright, we've got everything in there. There's no class there. There's Passover's holiday, whatever. Okay, pull back. And what we have so far, I think in May, is just the last day, which is May.
Oops.
Yeah, go back to May. And right there. All right. There's the season wrap-up, which I'm going to do on the last day before we leave, and summer break begins right after the 30th. The newsletter will be delayed until the middle of the month, which is May 16th, instead of the 2nd.
23rd, I'm going to do tips and tricks.
Yeah, Jerry said she's going to do her tips and tricks, which was postponed from earlier this month on that date. Okay, go back, and let me show you something else we put in. Scroll down a little bit, please. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is a suggestion box. Everybody tells me at the end of the class, nobody has a chance to ask me any questions because I'm mobbed. It's true. People come up to me, or maybe it's too late. So we've established a place where you click on the suggestions box, which has a feature called Ask the President. I don't know where that went to right now. What happened to that page, Bill, where it said Ask the President?
We don't have that anymore. Because this goes right to the form.
All right. I'm already eliminated, so who cares?
I can put it back in if you want it.
Yeah, you should, because that...
Then we'll go to that page and then they'll click on
Yeah,
that.
it's a segue. Now, what's going to happen when you click there, it's going to send a message to me. Now, if you right-click on my name, please, and go to Properties, you will see that it comes to my corporate address, which is my direct email to the club, barry@dbcc.org. It's not the one in the newsletter. This is the one that I get directly, where I can answer your questions, and I try to turn that around within 24 hours. I think I do a pretty good job.